Right about now, this is Andreaus13, and we are here in the incorporated village of Hempstead, and it's called the Wake Up Call. We have a new crop of community activists, and this is Brother Jamal, but we're going to let him introduce himself right now.
Great. Appreciate it. Peace. My name is Talib Abdullah Bey. I've been elected Grand Sheik of the Narragansett Territory, which most people know it as Rhode Island. I'm a co-founder of a group called Rise of the Moors. We're a non-profit civic organization. We teach our people about civics, jurisprudence, history, law, and the application of it in real time. We even got felony charges dismissed with this information, not paying any fees, no attorneys, no nothing. I have a case active in federal court right now at the Court of Appeals in Boston, proving that this information is tried and true and it works.
Well, fortunately for me, I know all about the Moorish contract. Yeah. I know about the treaty and all the things that you guys are based upon, about that you are not under the authority of the United States jurisdiction.
Now, I have documents from the Library of Congress. Documents from the Library of Congress that prove that. So I'm asking you to hold this while I take it out real fast.
Okay.
So we're taught that the 14th Amendment made us citizens of the United States. That's what we're taught. So-called black people, right? Now, this right here is the proceedings and debates, right, of the 90th Congress, First Session, Volume 113, Part 12, June 12, 1967, right? You see that? Right? Want me to show the camera? So this is certified. Let me know if it's good.
Right there.
Right here? So this is a sealed, certified copy from the Library of Congress stating that the 14th Amendment is unconstitutional, which means we're not citizens of the United States. So in the courtroom, you're dealing with personam jurisdiction, or jurisdiction over the person, which they do not have. And we've got cases dismissed based on that alone. So I'm going to show you this real fast, and I'm going to show you the case dismissal from New Hampshire with the court seal on it, so you know I'm not making this up, because this is the wake-up call, right? This is about remedy, right? Not my belief, right? So hold on, let me show you this. So you see that's real.
That's a seal. Yeah, there's a seal on there.
Signature, right? Library of Congress, right? You'll see congressional record. So this ain't Jamal making this up. This ain't from jahmal.com. This ain't from riseofthemoors.com. This is from the Library of Congress. What did I say right there? Right there.
The 14th Amendment
is unconstitutional. The 14th Amendment is unconstitutional, which again, that's telling you in the courtroom that these Europeans that we keep calling white have no personam jurisdiction over us as a people. So you see those police right there? They shouldn't be here. It's supposed to be an international organization. We're one nation, they're a separate nation. They shouldn't be here. That's how that applies in real time. You know what I'm saying? So we have to get the knowledge first, reach out to our brothers from the Nation of Islam to be our security, wake our people up to enforce this stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's how it works. Because I've been in the courtroom. They don't want to see us in there. They don't. They call recesses like 3 times in a row. They turn the AC up because they want all the Moors to get out. You get what I'm saying? So here's the stuff from the Library of Congress. Now let me show you the case that I got dismissed.
Now you're getting proof right now of Algonquins' indigenous rights.
Yeah. So this case right here, this woman was facing obtaining money under false pretenses. Now she had 2 children. So if these charges would have stuck, she would have been in jail, and those children would never had a mother to raise them. That's genocide. That's what they're doing to our people, right? So since in the Constitution it says the only money is gold and silver coin, right? And in the law book, the definition of money is only gold and silver, and does not embrace notes, which when we take that paper out of our wallet, it says Federal Reserve note right on it, right? So we said, this is what we said. Knowing this information, not belief, right? We said in this paragraph right here, this is the affidavit that we sent to the court. We said, just as an example, considering it has not been proven that I have obtained any money, as the only lawful money is gold coin or its silver equivalent, I cannot be charged with obtaining money under false pretenses, as gold and silver coin has not been in circulation since the Federal Reserve Act of 1913 and 1933. Now, we also said, prove that you're a judge, that you have an oath to the Constitution, prove that you have jurisdiction over Moors, and prove that there's an injured party. So prove that I actually took something from someone, because normally it says the state of versus you. So if it's a state of versus you, there better be thousands of people in that courtroom willing to testify against you, but there isn't. There's a prosecutor, and chances are he's European claiming to be white, right? So we said, if you can't prove that there's an injured party present, then prove that you as a prosecutor have a contract with the injured party, claim that you could be power of attorney over that person. This is what the court said, Rhode Island Superior Court. Rhode Island Superior Court. Felonies. This is what they said. I'm going to read it. And then I'll have you certify for the people whether this is an embossed raised seal or not. So feel that for me. Now feel it.
I see it. It's official.
It says the state would be unable to sustain its burden of proof at trial. Therefore, this matter is dismissed. So they couldn't prove that they were a real judge. They couldn't prove that there was any money. And they couldn't prove that this woman hurt anyone. Case dismissed. She goes home. She gets to raise her children now.
Well, you know what? The thing about our show is we want these type of examples that show what resolutions are out here. Now, we know that America took the land from the indigenous people already. And we're not even, they're not supposed to be trying to enforce laws on a land that was stolen.
Yeah, so let me explain that. So there's a difference between the United States and America. America is the continent, North, South, Central America, and the islands. So Haiti is part of America. Brazil is part of America because they're all on the continent of America. What you're talking about is the political jurisdiction of various European colonies calling themselves the United States. They made you think that the United States, the political phrase United States, and the continent of America are interchangeable for the purposes of jurisdiction, right? So if I go into your house, right, and I say, oh yeah, this is the Abdullah house now, who has power now? And hold on, if you don't say anything, then it's assumed that I have power, right? So now, if we keep walking around saying we're Indians, blacks, colored, and niggers, then it's assumed that this ain't our land. You get what I'm saying? So now, just again for the other case, this was a case in New Hampshire. It was 6 counts of assault. I can go through it for the camera if you want, but we can just skip all of that if you want. You'll see the seal right there. So verify for the people, is that a real seal, right? State of New Hampshire, right? See that information? You see what I'm saying? Now, can you hold this real fast? I'm going to read the counts.
He's bringing you information right from the Constitution, if you understand that. And what basically, no law enforcement bodies here in America are applicable to the Constitution. They violate our rights on a daily basis.
Now, what you're talking about the principle of latches. If you don't know your rights, it's as if you don't have them. So what I'm showing you is proof that when you do know your rights, to an extent, because I'm not dumb, I know it takes physical stuff, I'm not stupid, to an extent, a small amount of us can accomplish a lot. But on the bigger scale, a lot of us can accomplish way more. So now this person was facing 2nd-degree assault with a deadly weapon, 1st-degree assault with a deadly weapon, 1st-degree assault with a deadly weapon, 1st-degree assault with a deadly weapon, 2nd-degree assault with a deadly weapon, and 2nd-degree assault with a deadly weapon. Now this brother also had children, right? So now what they would have done was lock this brother up, and who's going to raise his children? The state. So now we're talking about parents patriae again, right? Parents patriae, the state acting as a parent, and them enforcing genocide on our people. Exactly. Right? So you can just flip through this if you want. We can skip that. I basically said, right, the Moors' free national name is distinguished from the straw man, right? Since the 14th Amendment is unconstitutional, let me see if I can find it real fast. Diversity. So when we're talking about the 14th Amendment not being constitutional, we're talking about the principle of diversity. So since we're the Aboriginal people of the land, we can't be citizens of the European colonies known as the United States. That's called diversity in law. So since we said it's diversity dealing with Article 3 of the Constitution and Title 28, subsection 1332 of the United States Codes, only federal courts have jurisdiction over the treaty, not over the person. So since we said that, this is what they did. See the disposition, right? 2nd-degree assault, 1st-degree, 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 2nd-degree, right? When you see that right there, nole processed, which means what? They're no longer going to prosecute based on what we said. Now, if you didn't see what we said and you just read this, you just think, oh yeah, they just dismissed it. But no, it's based on what we filed with them and us enforcing law with them and them being tired of them seeing Moors in the courtroom waking up the other Moors who think that they're black because now they're losing money.
You know what?
Well, so-called money.
Now, that's the foundation of the whole Moorish nation. I know that you're trying to get your United Nations sanctioned right now. You need a certain amount of membership, and I know I joined that, and I put my membership in. What I want you to do today, and the viewers need to know, is being that the Moorish nation has these type of remedies for the racial discrimination that we are, experiencing it on this continent. Give us some of your solutions. We want you guys, because we know all the statistical data that plagues our community, from health, social, political, economic. We understand that. What we want to show today, our viewers, that the new crop of activists, that you guys got solutions. So I'm going to give you this mic, and I'm going to say a word, and you tell us the solution. Now, I'm going to say a solution for the educational system.
The way the Prophet Noble Ali set up the temples, he said every temple is supposed to have a school. And from your Sunday schools comes the guiders of the nation. That's the solution. Now, what we do, we have class every Saturday at 12:30, 23 Acorn Street on the 3rd floor, Providence, Rhode Island. It's 10 notes at the door, but it's free on YouTube. And actually, yesterday, I was just speaking to a group of 16-year-olds for free, and I was giving them this information for free as well. And we're working on getting them copies of Black's Law Dictionary so they can look up these terms and phrases in law and see for themselves, right? And then we also plan on taking them to the law library, which every single court has a library. We plan on taking them to the library to show them all these Europeans know, all these so-called attorneys know, all these so-called judges know, all these so-called mayors know, these politicians, these so-called congressmen, they all know. That's where we have to start, showing them what these Europeans know that they're preventing us from knowing. You know what I'm saying? Because if the Europeans know how to build a house and we don't, you know what I'm saying? So now when we're trying to, get out of this plight that we're in, we don't even know how to build a house. You get what I'm saying?
Okay. I got another word, and this next word is the criminal justice system interaction with law enforcement officers. What was the best advice you can give a person who doesn't have the intricate knowledge and laws that you have on a police stop?
Start studying. That's the best advice I can give. Start studying. Now, here's half of the problem.
Study. What should they study?
Jurisprudence, law, civics, res judicata, stare decisis, and the Constitution for the United States of America. So now, at a so-called traffic stop, which traffic means commerce and business, so now they're entering into contracts with you and you don't know it. Sometimes this isn't you say this is going to work. That's not how this works. We're dealing with human beings. You don't know me, I don't know you. You have your own personality, I have mine. So if you're pulling me over, I don't know who I'm talking to. You know what I'm saying? So what you'll see is some Moors getting off, some Moors not. The problem is when those Moors aren't getting off. That's when we're supposed to be organized as a Jahmal society, as a competent big boy nation of people, have our own national security. As an example, when Brother Nipsey Hussle passed away, whole Nation of Islam went to visit that area. Now, I'm not putting this obligation on the Nation of Islam, but if we as a people can show up in force to that, how come we can't show up in force to every traffic stop? How come we can't show up in force to every so-called mortgage foreclosure, which is really estate embezzlement? How come we're not showing up to all these prisons and demanding that our people be released based on the fact we're not citizens of the United States and the act of state doctrine applies? They shouldn't be having our people in these prison industrial complexes. That's where we start.
All right, I got another word for you. Education. I mean health. Health.
Now, our people might jump on me for saying this, but in the Bible, it says, let your food be thy medicine and thy medicine be thy food. The problem is we don't know what the word meat is. The word meat applies to fruits and vegetables. Carcass applies to dead animals that we keep calling meat. So if you put something dead in yourself, you're going to be mentally dead and you're slowly going to start to decay. Now, the reason why you don't see it is because they're putting preservatives in the food. So now they're preserving the shell. It's the Willie Lynch thing. Take the mind, leave the body. That's health. learn about all these plants everywhere. There's a saying that Mother Nature will show you the remedy. There was this tribe in Africa where they had this plaguing disease, and some scientists found out that where the sickness was the most, they had the remedy via the plants growing in that area the most. So our health is connecting back with nature. That's what our health is. The Medu Netter, or Mother Nature.
Another word for you. Political power.
Political power only comes through nationality. Don't believe me. Go to Henry Campbell Black's Law Dictionary, 4th edition, look up nationality. It says it determines a person's political status. Political is dealing with the enforcement of rights and which rights you have and which ones you don't have. You get what I'm saying? So since that determines your political status, once you know that and you know all the laws that apply to you and which ones don't, you become mentally competent, which again is your status. So it's not just knowing I'm a Moor, it's knowing where your landmass is, which laws apply to you, and which ones don't. And as a people, no one's going to respect us until we organize as a government, as a people. That's called a jural society. Every other nation of people has their own government. Where's ours? What did Marcus Garvey say? Where's the so-called black man's king? Where's his land? Where's his high officials? Where's his military? Where's our stuff?
That's the next word. Reparations.
Reparations. The word reparations means to repair a nation. Black's not a nation. Black is an adjective, not a person, place, or thing. Indian is what we were branded. If you read any federal, which I have in my books, any federal case law on Indians, it says Indians are wards of the United States, meaning they're persons who are mentally incompetent and need to be taken care of by the United States. That's what the word ward means. We're not Hispanic. We're not Dominicans. Dominican is derived from the word or the name Saint Dominique, who was part of the Inquisition against our people. So again, reparations will only happen once we start declaring our free national name and operating off those principles that pertain to nations. You don't see Jewish people going around in our so-called Jewish people, the fake Jews. You don't see them coming around in our communities and patronizing us. You don't see that. But where do you see us? And then even this, right? We got brothers and sisters vending, right? How come these brothers and sisters don't have their own stores? Because it's too expensive, right? That's what we'll say. There's nothing wrong with that. But here's the solution. Adverse possession. Look it up. Adverse possession is acquiring title to the land legally and lawfully without paying a dime, based on the fact that that property is abandoned. Now go to the county court or the borough court or the city clerk's office, go to the recorder of deeds, or go to the tax assessor, look up who owns that, who so-called owns that property, put them on notice and say, us as a group of people, as a nation of people, we're claiming this for our children's lemonade store, for our clothing store, for our yoga spot, for our vegan restaurant or whatever restaurant. You don't got to be vegan, whatever. That's how we can do that without paying a dime. And that's enforced in every single state. So whatever your state you're in, look up adverse possession. In the so-called state I'm in is Rhode Island. Looked it up. 2011, they agreed some European can claim some land through adverse possession, didn't pay a dime, didn't pay no property taxes, didn't buy back the block, none of that BS. She knew law and applied it. That's our remedy.
Well, that brings us to our next question. Our birth rate has been negatively impacted by all of the things that you've just stated.
Yes.
How do we repair our birth rate?
Peace. Stop going to so-called Planned Parenthood. Realize that the economic situation that we're put in to get out of it is not only our responsibility. If you read the rights of indigenous people, and particularly the inter-American rights of indigenous people, dealing with the Organization of American States, dealing with the entire Western Hemisphere, North, South, Central America, they say indigenous peoples are those who embody historical continuity with lands prior to the colonization of their lands by Europeans. It also includes those brought involuntarily to the New World who freed themselves and attached them to cultures nationalized from which they've been torn, right? So if we recognize that we're indigenous people, we can see that we can enforce these contracts on these people, the rights of indigenous people, which Obama signed, and say, all right, see that whole complex? That needs to be renovated. So every single family in that complex go to City Hall and say, we're Moors. You're Europeans on our land. Since you destroyed our nation, you're obligated, reparations, to ensure that we get out of this economic situation. Now, since money is only gold and silver, and there's no more of that, and you can print as much paper as you want, give us $7 billion to fix up this house, no chicanery, no social security number needed, no 501c3 needed, none of that BS, because you're organizing under the rights of indigenous people, which these people are obligated to help. But if we're not in these rooms and enforcing it, then they're not obligated to us. You get what I'm saying? So if you owe me $5, right? And I'm like, damn, man, this brother owes me $5, and I'm telling all my people, right? This brother owes me $5. He owes me. He owes me $5. You know what I mean? But until I go confront you and say, yo, where's my $5 at? Now that's a different scenario. You get what I'm saying? That's a different scenario. So now you got to look me in the eyes and tell me where my bread is. And then not only me, the 5,000 people behind me, they don't want that. Not asking for reparations. Where's my shit? That's a demand.
Well, you know what? You've got it from Brother Jahmal, all styles of resolutions, because this is a broadcast. It's called The Wake Up Call. And in closing, we're going to ask Brother Jahmal, why was it important for him to be here to bring this message to you? Why was it important for you to be here?
Because a lot of our people go off opinions, and we debate based on our opinions of things. So I came to bring the facts. Fact, we got cases dismissed. riseofthemoors.org. Look at the information for free. It's a fact. We got riseofthemoors.org. My books are there, my website, my email, everything is there. So I came here to show our people this stuff works. It's not theory, it's not opinion, it works. But I'm not stupid. I know the other half is us organizing, us having a military. It's not just saying, hey, so-called white man, respect me. That's not how that works. They will respect you if you prove to them you're not afraid of them. That's what they respect. And the Prophet Noble Drew Ali said it himself. These Europeans ain't going to stop until they look death in the face. Now that death is us loving each other so much that we're willing to die for each other. That does not mean we're willing to kill them. That means we're willing to enforce love, truth, peace, and freedom. And once our freedom is violated, justice will take its course.
Well, you know, the interesting thing you said, that there's a book called Forbidden Fruit, and Columbus said that we don't have to respect the black man in this country, in this land, because he has no army. So that can be verified as a fact, what he just said. Everything on this program that he just said can be verified. We want to thank this brother. And these are new activists that you have in your community here in Nassau County, Incorporated Village of Hempstead, the Wake Up Call. Brother Jahmal. Stay tuned for the next interview.